Hello everyone, welcome back to Crafting with Jeanine. Today I am going to show you how to make these really pretty singed flowers. I had a few requests for singed flowers and a couple of the other styles I'm not like a really big fan of. And then I saw this one and I really loved it. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do these ones today. They're really simple and just really pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. This one here is using 2.5 inch single face satin ribbon, and this one is using 1.5 inch double face satin ribbon, so it doesn't really matter. And you can also use grosgrain ribbon for it if you really want to. Just gives it like a textured look. But I'm gonna go ahead and do it with the 2.5 inch single face satin ribbon today. So what I did was I went ahead and I cut myself out one of these flower templates. It has 8 petals on it, or 8 little nubs, but this one seems to be the one to get this look the best. So I went ahead and did this. Now I'm using 2.5 inch grosgrain ribbon, so I actually cut my flower just a hair smaller than that. So if I were to cut it exactly 2.5 inches, it wouldn't have fit. But I cut it just a hair smaller so that I have less waste, but I still get my petal out of it. So I'm going to go ahead and trace my flower out with using a pen. I don't suggest using any type of felt tip pen because they bleed, and so it spreads out your lines. This one's a gel pen. I tend to use them more often. Ballpoint pens work fine, but they don't give you a clean line. So I'm going to go ahead and trace this out. So there, now I have my flower on there. So now, it's totally up to you how you want to do this. If you want to cut them out one at a time, go ahead. But it's really, like, time-consuming to do it that way. But it's totally up to you. What I like to do is to do 3 at a time, because that seems to be just about the right number you can get without ruining the flower. So what I do is I cut my squares to whatever size. So these are 2.5 by 2.5. So I cut my squares, and then I just stack them up. And then I just take a couple of pins, and I just attach all 3 layers. Like that. So that as I'm cutting, it's not shifting too much, and I don't lose my petals for the other layers. So I'm going to go ahead and cut. And I suggest trying your best to stay on the line. Now I know some people have a hard time with that. And if you really miss the line, then I would say go on the inside of the line and not the outside of the line, because if you go on the outside of the line, then your pen marks are going to show in your petals when you go to finish the flower. So just stay on the inside. And we're just going to cut them out. My other suggestion to you is very sharp scissors. You don't want to use dull scissors. I know I've said it before, and I say it in my house. Scissors have a job. And my craft scissors, my fabric scissors, do not get used for anything other than ribbon or fabric. I have paper scissors that you can cut paper with, but my fabric scissors, that is the only thing they cut. Because to cut fabric without shredding it and fraying it and all that, you want a really sharp scissor. So, and as soon as you cut anything else, paper or anything, you dull your scissors. So, it's a little tip from me. So, okay, now I go ahead and pull my pins out, and I have my 3 layers. So now, I'm going to grab a candle, and I use these tea lights. They seem to be roughly about, I'm pretty sure everybody else does too. They're cheap enough, because when you're using them, of course, the wax melts. So what we want to get this look is you want your dull side facing up as you're going to do this. So we're going to give them a little half turn, and we're just going to hover over our flame. You don't want it to touch the flame because you'll get those burn marks. But you just kind of hover over it just until it curls. Then you do that all the way around. Just until it curls. You don't want it to go too much because you don't want to lose your shape. You want it to just curl so that you have this look. So we'll go ahead and do another one. Remember, dull side up. Just enough so it curls. Just hover over till it curls. Just till it curls. And we have that. Now, this part isn't like the hard part, and most of it's just really time consuming. So, beware that it does get hot, so don't burn yourselves. And there we have it. Now, so we're done with the candle on that step. For the purposes of the video, I went ahead and pre-made them, but you're going to want 9 of these to do this flower, and I will put the measurements and sizes and everything in the description below. But I'm going to show you with these 3 how we do it, but I went ahead and pre-made them for the purpose of the video just to make it faster. So, now to form this shape that we want to make this flower, you want the dull side facing you, and we're going to fold it in half so that now we have 4 petals up, and then you're going to fold it in half in between the 2 petals again, so we have this look. And then just going to put a little blob of glue right here, doesn't need much, and then just pinch it together so that it stays together. Once again, dull side up, fold it in half, fold it in half again, and then a little bit of glue. Pinch it together, dull side up, fold it in half, fold it in half again, and glue. Okay. So there we have our petals. So, okay. So I said you needed 9 flowers cut out, because one of them is going to be your base. And then the other 8 form the petals. So how we're going to do that is we are going to just take a small amount. And this fold here, it doesn't really matter which side you do it on. Just make sure that that's always going the same direction. Like, so if you put it like this, your folds are always on that side. Or if you put it like this, like I'm going to, your folds are always on that side. So, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue right there. And we're going to try to match up with 2 of these humps here. Doesn't have to be exact, but we just want it like that. So now, we're going to do it again. And then, and push it down into place. And the next one. And then our last one. Right there. And then we're just going to kind of just make sure everything is down. Okay, for this next layer, what we're going to do is the same thing. Make sure your petals are all going the same direction. And we're going to do it again. We're going to glue. But now we're going to put it in between the layers. So we're going to go right here. Right next to that one. Right next to that one. And one more and we're good. And then we just set this one in. Kind of just make sure that they're all glued down. And now you can embellish this however you want. If you want to use these little gems here and just put one in the middle, or a pearl or a bead, or I'm going to use one of these. They're actually earrings that I cut the backs off of. I find them in various different places and all that. And then ones that I like, sometimes I'll find them in a thrift store or like a 99-cent store or something like that. And they're not really expensive, just cheap earrings, but they work for centers. So I just cut the backs off, and then there we go. So there's that one, and that one. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and please let me know how I'm doing, and please give me that thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. Like I said, I will put the measurements in the description below. These flowers can be cut out to any shape. I mean, you can even make them bigger than this if you want to, if you're going to use like satin fabric. So there's really no, I used my Cricut machine to cut this out. Just easier for me to get a perfect template, but you can find them on the internet and print them out and stuff like that. But, so, there we have it. Don't forget to subscribe once again and hit that thumbs up button. And, like I said, the sizes will all be in the description below. And you guys have a happy day crafting.